What's up everyone and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking all about the new Zwift France expansion, which was just released with game version 1.87 and finally allowed for everyone to ride it starting April 7th. And I'm going to be diving into everything you need to know about this expansion, and yeah, let's get started. So first off, we've got a bunch of new routes and 2 new cobble sectors. So right, I'm just going to point out where these 2 sectors are on the France map. We've got 2 of them that both sort of eventually come together with the existing France roads, and it's just a nice way to add some of the Paris-Roubaix roads that you'll see on TV later on this month with the Paris-Roubaix and the Paris-Roubaix-themed avec Zwift, and those will both be sort of 2 key things that have really influenced the roads that we're going to see. We've got some really nice road decorations with lots of writing on the roads, and there's going to be one that's sort of themed towards the Paris-Roubaix or the Hell of the North, and there's one that's going to be themed more towards the Paris-Roubaix avec Zwift. So first off, we're going to dive right into the routes that were included in this game release, with the first one being Bon Voyage with a 19.5 mile distance and 500 feet of elevation gain. I'd say it's going to take most riders around an hour to an hour 15 to complete, and it's going to have 4 sprint segments mixed in there, so a lot of good fun in this route, and it's going to cover all of the new cobbles that were included in this game release. So if you're looking to see everything new that was in this game release, Bon Voyage is a great one to do that. The next one is Croissant. Croissant is also a very efficient way to see all the new cobbles because it does that with only 1 lap and not a long lead-in. So we've got 7.8 miles with 238 feet of elevation gain. I'd say 30 minutes is realistic for most riders. We've got 3 sprint segments. One of them, I actually rode this route earlier. This is the one you're seeing right now. It is a really, really long sprint. I think that Zwift should change this one into a KOM since it has a little bit of climbing, and it's going to take most riders 45 seconds to a minute. Now, the next one is going to be the Gentle 8, which is going to be sort of a figure 8 in France that we can now do with these new roads. It's got 16 miles and 800 feet of elevation gain. This one's going to have 4 sprint segments and the Petite KOM added in with it. The next route is going to be the Hell of the North route, which is sort of going to be the bigger route in this, in the sense that it ends on a climb, which is kind of cool to see. We've got a 12.5 mile distance and 790 feet of elevation gain. So a lot of elevation gain is going to come from that Petite KOM that you're going to have at the very end of that route. It's going to have 4 sprint segments and the Petite KOM thrown in there at the end. Next one is the Knights of the Roundabout, and this covers pretty much every single road in the main France area, so that's excluding Ventop, which is going to be not included in this route. We've got 33.8 miles and 1,100 feet of elevation gain, so a solid rolling route, and it's got a lot of sprint segments. You're going to be able to tackle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sprint segments and 2 KOMs. Now, the next one is going to be the Macaron route, which is a really, really short route that was pretty much built for super short sprint races like the Tiny Race. It's going to be 1.6 miles, which is super short. So literally as soon as you get to the cobble section, it's going to end on the sprinter sprint segment, and it's going to be a very, very short sprint segment of 820 feet. Next one is going to be the Sacré Bleu route, which is going to be 45 miles and 1,300 feet of elevation gain. This one is going to be probably the biggest route of the expansion, coming in at 45 miles. So that's pretty similar to routes like the Pretzel and Waltopia, in that this one's going to cover so many sprints. We've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 sprints and 2 KOMs. Now, the next one is going to be the Three Musketeers route, which is going to also be a bit of a longer one at 23 miles and very, very mellow with 600 feet of elevation gain. This one is going to have 6 sprint segments and 1 KOM. Now, the last one included in this expansion is the Ven 10 route, which is basically just going up Ventop for 10 kilometers, not doing Ventop 10 times, as some of you thought it was at the start. And it's going to cover the new Ventop half KOM, which is basically just a segment that goes halfway up Ventop. And that is going to be 7.1 miles and 2,600 feet of elevation gain. So a solid hill climb route, and one for those of you who love those climbs to complete. Now, as long as you have installed version 1.87, you have access to these roads and can ride them whenever you want. So that is great to see, and this was actually unveiled at Zwift Community Live, but it wasn't available to the public until April 7th. Now, coming with this expansion, we have two main events that are going to be happening. First one is going to be the Paris-Roubaix-themed avec Zwift experience, which is going to be taking place all throughout this month, and it's going to start on April 11th and finish on April 14th. Now, this is basically just going to be a way for people to support women's cycling and really unlock some cool kits and a cool new hat, and it's also going to be a way for riders to explore these new roads, and Zwift has a lot of fun rides organized for that weekend. And the second one is going to be the Hell of a Route Chaser, which is going to be Zwift's latest new challenge, and it's going to be featuring 5 of the new France routes starting on April 7th, and you can now complete these routes to gain XP and all sorts of cool things, and it's going to be a great way to incentivize riders to try out these new routes and explore the new roads in France. That's just about all I have for this video, and now I'm going to move into sort of my thoughts on this expansion. I think this was a much needed expansion in France. It really adds to the France experience on Zwift. It's something that really should have been there to begin with all the cobbles and the famous races that do occur in France. So it's great to see Zwift finally adding this. It was something, in my opinion, that would be really cool to add is some sort of other way to get to the top of Ventop and some more scenery on Ventop, since Ventop is currently just a kind of a boring climb in my opinion. I'm sure it's great to climb outdoors in real life, but on Zwift, it just doesn't really have that full experience. That's just about all I have for this video. If you enjoyed this video, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It really does help support the channel, and with that, thank you all for watching, and ride on.